Greetings everyone, and today I got another amplifier to review which is rated at 100 watts per channel. So starting by the looks of it, the build quality is just decent for its price. It has a high side MOSFET here as a main power switch controlled by this toggle switch. Its op amps are the common 5532 op amps. And it has bass and treble knobs with a master volume. There's a relay here, its output filters, and the Bluetooth chip from Bluetron. For the amplifier chip, it uses one TPA3221 from TI operating in stereo BTL. So that's pretty much all for its layout. Now, how does it sound? So first, powering it up, it has some pop-up noise. I checked its mute pin delay and it is working just fine here. So yeah, they should have utilized the relay to the output side, not the input side. By the way, it has an app support as well, but the only thing working here are the main volume and its presets. And that's it. So in terms of sound quality, this is a very good choice. My only problem is the pop-up noise, which can be easily fixed by adding a delay on its outputs. And of course, the almost useless app support. Now proceeding to the power test, I will start with 12 volt supply. Now testing at 1 kHz input. There's clipping. So we've got around 7.37 volts RMS, drawing around 30 watts from my supply. So 7.37 volts RMS squared divided by 4 ohms load, and we've got 13.57 watts RMS per channel into 4 ohms at 12 volt supply with an efficiency of around 90%. Nice. Now proceeding to 24 volts DC supply. Here's clipping, and we've got around 13.15 volts RMS, which equals to about 43.2 watts RMS per channel into 4 ohms at 24 volts DC supply. Finally, going up to 30 volts DC supply. Here's clipping, and that's about 15 volts RMS, which equals to about 56 watts RMS per channel into 4 ohms at 30 volts supply. It's a bit disappointing because the CS8685 delivers the same power at only 24 volts. And I've got another amplifier here with the same chipset delivering around 80 watts at 27 volts. Now checking it again with my DIY scope shows the same thing. So I don't know why, it might be the output filters, I guess. Now finally, it's frequency response. Both tone knobs are maxed out here, and as you can see, it enhances very low bass and then goes flat at mid frequencies with a little bit of enhancement at higher frequencies. So this is why it gives that V-shaped EQ sound, which is very nice. Despite a little bit lacking in power, I will still give it an 8 out of 10 rating, since this board is completely plug and play. Its pop-up noise can be fixed easily by some delay, so not that big of a deal. By the way, here are the power ratings I've got from this test. So overall, it is still a good option for the price of around 13 USDs. Its sound quality really adds value to this board. So I hope that covers everything. Feel free to ask questions down below. Give this video a like and we'll do something else for the next one.